957. That's how many resumes I sent out when I got laid off. I kept a spreadsheet of it. 957 applications. You know how many turned into actual conversations with a human being? 29. 29 out of 957. The rest, rejection, ghosting, silence, whatever. So here's what this video is. If you're laid off right now, or you're afraid you might be headed there, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do differently if it happened to me again today, step by step. And most of it starts with a conversation, one you can have for free on your phone right after this video. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what I would do in the first 24 hours after losing my job and the first 3 moves I'd make to start rebuilding. Now I know what that silence feels like. You apply, you wait, you check your email every hour on the hour, and when something does come back, half the time it's a form letter that doesn't even have your name on it, and it was sent at like 2:30 in the morning. You start wondering if the resume is even being read by a human or even seen by a human. And you start wondering if you're the problem. Well, you're not the problem. But the system is broken for people with experience, and it's not going to fix itself anytime soon. Now, I was on YouTube before most people even know what YouTube was. Back in the early 2000s, I was making hair technique videos. No equipment, no fancy equipment anyway, no strategy, no idea what I was doing. And those videos racked up thousands of views. Expert Village actually paid me for some of them. Now, I didn't think anything of it at the time. But a few years ago, I got laid off in my 50s, and I had to figure things out the hard way because the tools I'm about to tell you about didn't exist at that time. After all those resumes, I eventually landed a job through connections, which is the way it usually works out at our level. But by the time that happened, I had already built 3 Etsy shops during that year that I was laid off. One specifically for print on demand, another focused on digital downloads, and one selling ATS-friendly resumes to other people going through exactly what I was going through at the time. I didn't stop there, though. I created a faceless TikTok channel sharing funny takes and stories on country music. I have over 37,000 followers on it. I make over $1,000 a month, and I'm still running my shops on Etsy. Right now, I'm sitting in a hotel in Orlando, Florida, recording this video between sessions at one of the largest hair shows in the country. Both things can be true at the same time. That's the whole point. So if I lost my job tomorrow, knowing what I now know, here's exactly what I would do. And before I give you the first step, let me tell you something that surprised me. When I got laid off, I assumed the solution was just find another job, right? That was the only answer I could see. You send resumes, you network, you interview, you repeat, right? And up to that point, I'd been successful in my career. However, it didn't dawn on me that I was sitting on skills I had spent decades building that I could actually create income outside of an employer. I just couldn't see it yet. And that's why the first thing I do today is different. Now, step 1. I'd have an honest conversation with AI, not Google, not hours spent spiraling down the YouTube rabbit holes at midnight, AI. Here's what most people get wrong about AI. They think it's complicated, and it's not. It's just having a conversation with an extremely smart friend, the friend who knows everything, has no agenda, and doesn't judge you for not knowing where to start. So open up Claude or ChatGPT and say something like this. Here's my resume, along with the last few performance reviews. Based on my skills, experience, and interest, show me the best ways I could build income. Rank them by speed to monetization, long-term potential, and how well they stack together. Ask me questions until you have at least 98% of the information needed about me to produce a comprehensive list. That's the prompt. That's it. You don't need to be a tech person. You just need to be willing to have the conversation. Now, I'll put the exact prompt in the description below so you can copy it right now. And here's the part that catches most people off guard. AI doesn't see you the same way the job market sees you. It doesn't see your age. It doesn't see gray hair. It doesn't see a title that sounds old-fashioned. It sees skills. It sees experience. It sees patience. And for most of us over 45, that list is longer than we give ourselves credit for. When I first did this exercise, I assumed AI was going to tell me to just find another job in my career field, perhaps even find a new career field, but it didn't. It looked at my background in sales training, education, content creation, and marketing. And it showed me things I wasn't even considering. And that's when it hit me right between the eyes. Most of us have spent decades building skills we don't think anybody would pay for. And the truth is, we're usually sitting on more opportunity than we realize, and that leads to step 2. But before I tell you what step 2 is, let me tell you what it is not. It is not quitting your job. It is not cashing out your retirement, and it is definitely not one of those make $10,000 in 30 days, those schemes you see all over this platform. Step 2, I'd build something that compounds. For me, one of those things was content. Now, before you click out of here, hear me out. I'm not telling you that everyone needs a YouTube channel. I'm telling you that most people need an asset, something that keeps working after you finished working. For me, content was one of those assets. For you or somebody else, it might be consulting. It might be a digital product. It might be teaching. It might be coaching. It might be something completely different. I don't know. The point is that AI helps you identify where your experiences creates leverage. For me, content was one answer, and I already had clues years before I understood it. Remember back in the early days, YouTube, I was making hair technique videos with almost no equipment and no strategy. Thousands of people watched those videos, but at the time I didn't think much of it. Looking back now, I missed the lesson entirely. The lesson is you don't have to be polished. You have to be useful. That's it. You have to be useful because the audience for what you already know exists right now, and they're searching for it while we're having this conversation. The only question is whether they'll find you. And here's the crazy part. The income stream I thought would work first wasn't the one that surprised me the most. And that leads directly into step 3. I'd figure out if print on demand belongs in the stack. And I want to emphasize the word stack because this is where I made one of my biggest mistakes. I kept looking for the thing, the one thing, the one income stream that would solve everything. And what I eventually learned is that most people don't build financial confidence from one source of income. They build it from several smaller sources working together. AI will likely flag print on demand, and for most people it does. If it does, I'd sign up for a free Canva account, then ask AI which fulfillment partner, Printify or Printful, or perhaps one of the others, makes more sense based on what I want to sell. Now, I started running a print-on-demand shop on Etsy with zero experience, and I used Canva to make it workable, and now AI makes it strategic. Step 4, I'd keep the conversation going. This isn't a one-time thing. It's a series of conversations. You share what you're learning. You ask better questions. You let AI help you narrow down what fits. That's how I build the stack. Not all at once, but one conversation at a time. And it is literally a conversation. You don't have to get crazy with prompts. Just talk to it. It learns you, your speaking style, and you learn how to interact with it. Now, when I was laid off, that tool didn't exist. I figured things out kind of the hard way, watching hours upon hours of YouTube, researching every little thing I could find any of the answers to my questions to. Now, I'm not saying that as some sort of flex. I'm saying it because you don't have to do it that way anymore. You can literally copy a transcript of a video like this one, paste it into Chat or Claude, and ask it to summarize the video into key points that relate to you and your interest, and that starts the conversation. Here's the deal. None of this is instant. The Etsy shops took time. The TikTok channel took consistency. This YouTube channel I'm making now is taking work. I'm building it around a full-time job, the same way you might have to. But the people who come out of a layoff better than they went in, and some of them do, aren't the ones who waited for the right employer to find them. They're the ones who decided to build something while they waited. And looking back, that's probably the lesson I wish someone had taught me when I was laid off. The job wasn't the asset I thought it was. The paycheck wasn't the asset I thought it was. The real asset was everything I had learned over the previous 20 or 30 years. I didn't know how to turn it into income yet. 957 resumes taught me that the job market doesn't owe you anything but your experience, your knowledge, the decades you've put in. That's yours. And nobody can lay off that. If this is where you are right now, or where you're afraid you might be headed, start with one conversation. Upload your resume. Tell AI who you are. Ask it to show you some options you probably haven't even thought of. The prompt is in the description below. So is something else. It's called the Over 40 Income Starter Kit. It's free, and it will help you narrow down which income streams actually fit your life, your interest, and the time that you have available. Grab both of them. They work together. And if you want to keep building alongside someone who's doing the same thing in real time from a hotel room in Orlando, Florida on a Sunday night, consider subscribing. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from experience. I'll see you in the next one.